said, thank you, Obama, for life in the red. Thank you for DAP and a pat on the head. Thank you for saving the banks, as millions are drowning their debt. Thank you for all of the fluff and the nothing you said. Thank you for proving we eat up identity politics. All of your policy better forgotten, just tell us what books you read. Tell us what record was top of your playlist, turning a wedding to Day of the Dead. What Quavo song went along on a heavy rotation, bombing Iraqis in bed? When they told you that 90% of your kills are civilian, what Jill Scott chorus was stuck in your head? What put you at rest after such a long day of convincing a nation it wasn't so deeply misled, that you weren't just Reagan with New Age media training, who fed on our hopes like his daily bread, who preyed on the weak, who was never unwilling to serve you a speech to remind you the middle class needed to bleed, and you helped us succeed if you learned to accept it, and better yet, learn how to laugh as they bled. Round of applause, laughter erupts, mic gets dropped, it's the end of his set. And the crowd once hungry are now unstunned from the glow of celebrity, which is impressive, especially since they're contented to sit and be civil while all of the donors are fed. They thin out the herd by 1 million a week if it gives the elite an illusion of peace, like they're out of the path of the future we reap, and they won't be debris in the wake of its tread. But the future is now, bathe in the sound, drown in the dread. Hide in the lounge, hire more guards at your gatehouse, hire someone to come build you a safe house under your shed. Hide with your diamonds and files, the files you keep to yourself and the files you keep for the feds. Hide in the dark for a while and watch all the value regress. Watch all the worth of your wealth on this earth melt down in a pool with the rest of the cess. The affluence left over after the worldly collapse of the affluent. After it's back to the dirt with the rights of their birth, privileged smirks and their unpaid taxes, #blast. This has all been a nightmare, capitalism was only a test. So you need not weep and you need not repeat what the liberals said. We will not be saved by people who say that the water is safe while they look in your face and they pantomime sips of lead. Honey, nobody's lifting us out of this mess. Honey, nobody's lifting us out of this mess.
My life. chance we'll be here together forever. As the waves roll and start to drown, undertow is coming now. As the waves roll and start to drown, undertow is coming now. It's 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 coming now. There's nothing like a healthy dose of reality. Your words don't always hurt me, but they pain me to see. You're really just a tyrant, use your power at will. Just let me teach you how to sit back, relax and chill. Your future is at Starbucks and you sleep on the floor. Why aren't you back in the streets if you're so fucking poor? You're probably good for nothing except play the guitar. But being such an asshole won't get you too far. Ain't it crazy to see? 'Cause you don't know me. Ain't it crazy to see? 'Cause you don't know me. Just keep on inside your mouth and I'll settle the score. How about you do some research before you come back for more? And somehow you're the one to play me up, play me like a fool. Well, let me tell you what's up. You're not that fucking cool.
It costs that much 'cause it takes me fucking hours. Fucking hours. It costs that much 'cause I don't have superpowers. Superpowers. You need to pay for my skills 'cause exposure doesn't pay the bills. It costs that much 'cause it takes me fucking hours. You need to pay for my skills 'cause exposure doesn't pay the bills. It costs that much 'cause it takes me fucking hours.
Hola, Tito Puente. Tito Puente was a drummer. Good morning, good evening. Not quite sure where it is in your neck of the woods. It is just past midnight here in Brooklyn, New York. It's a hot one. I got the sleeveless on. And my first ever in studio audience. I've got Radar Rabbit with me, kind of guiding the ship here. I just want to make sure I'm very particular about me being in the middle, like Malcolm. So yeah, it's Saturday night, y'all. Hopefully you were watching some good shows tonight. Beauty and the Boomer may still be on. I'm not quite sure. I know Political Matrix was on too. Great shows. Be sure to like and subscribe to those shows. We are on the Rockfin. It's in the pinned comment up there. So if you're not down with the YouTube, feel free to hop over to Rockfin. We're more than happy to have you there too. Yeah, it's a hot one today. Got up to 90 here in New York. Yeah, Indy, I shared that out too, that you had your friends of Indy Left. You had Nikki, aka Radical Leftist Agenda, earlier this evening. Very good. One of my INN brothers, also one of the producers of this show, Indy Left. Good to see you, brother. Got Ed Heller in the house. Ed is checking in from the Scenic Meat District on the rooftop of 99P. I don't know if that's some sort of street lingo. I'm assuming it has something to do with Chicago, since Ed is in Chicago, so that's really good. Miguel is here. Good to see you. Dolores, good to see you as well. We got Miss Jimmy, my Friday night co-host. We had a blast last night doing the show and just talking about all kinds of crazy stuff. We had a good time. Looking forward to it next Friday. We'll also be doing the news together next Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern on Kerberos. So check that out too if you're inclined to do so. Dingo, good to see you. I think I got everybody there. Oh, so 99p is 99 perspectives. I get it. Okay. So I you know, I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, guys. So you know this to be true. So it's Saturday, and of course it's a secret show. You know what we gotta do? We gotta check in on those chickadee doodles, chickadee day, yeah. So this is Chicken City. And we have 6, looks like 7. Got a little something going on over here, like where it says watch later. I think there's a bird there. I'm pretty sure that is. Yeah, I see a foot. So we got 7 up top. Nobody in the cheap seats. It looks like they're about 65 away from a chicken lullaby, whatever the hell that is. We still hadn't figured that out yet. So right now there's only 36 people watching Chicken City live stream. So shout out to Chicken City live stream. Here is the link in the chat for you. So it's a good little stoner channel. So if you're you just want some ASMR with a little chicken clucking in the background, pretty sure that's what everybody else is doing here. So yeah, we were out and about today, and it was really hot today. Nice and humid. This week is going to be a little bit warmer than usual. Usually when July hits, that's when literally all hell breaks loose. So we're looking at 80s with humidity this week here, at least in New York. So I'm not really looking forward to that. I don't like wearing sleeveless shirts. I'd rather wear no shirt. In fact, I almost did not wear a shirt for this show, but I know people do not want to be blinded by the light of my skin. So yeah, that wasn't going to happen. I kind of looked like, you know, since I got my hair cut, I don't know if you can see that or not. Woohoo! I kind of look like Bobby Hill from King of the Hill. Hey, I can't do the Bobby Hill voice. But I got the Bobby Hill haircut. Yes, Miguel, Blinded by the Light. And there's 2 versions of that. There's the Bruce Springsteen, I think, was the OG who did that. And then Manfred Mann's Earth Band did that song as well. That's the famous Wrapped Up Like a Douche, another runner in the night, but I think it's Wrapped Up Like a Deuce. So, but we were kids and we had dirty minds, so we always said douche. It was a good time. So I hope everybody's having a great evening. I know yesterday was not good news. We kind of kept things very light and off the topic of Roe v. Wade getting overturned in the Supreme Court. You know, because that's a pretty big deal. It's a really big deal. And but I mean, it's not. So here's the situation. So it looks like half the states in the country are not. We're going to have some sort of abortion limitation. Some are probably going to ban it outright. But the other half is still doing it. And if you could get Democrats to get off their ass, they could actually codify it into law. But I'm pretty sure that they're just going to use it to fundraise off of and say, please see, if you vote for us in November, vote for more of us, and we're gonna get things done. Wink, wink. So there's that. It is a little warm in here this evening, so I may keep the show a little bit short, but Radar Rabbit has informed me that there was a trend going around, and I believe this was going on late last year too. And when she told me about this, I thought this was extremely funny. It's sad for people who own property, but in a way it is just it's just some funny shit. So it's called the Kool Aid Challenge, right? And apparently you have people who kids who run through fences or some sort of weak structured walls and yell, "Oh yeah," like Kool-Aid, and that's the Kool Aid Challenge. I don't know what the challenge is. I guess the challenge is to get through the obstacle. But we have some video here of this is I'm not quite sure where this is out of, but we'll take a little look-see here. What's going on, Signs? Good to see you. So let's watch this.
Homeowners around the country are not happy with a new TikTok challenge. Maybe you've seen it circulating on social media. A man in Caldwell now says the Kool Aid Man challenge is a trend where kids crash through fences, mimicking the Kool Aid commercials from years past, and it happened to his house.
What in the world goes through these kids' minds to go drive around that late at night and just have the thought process of, oh, I'm going to go destroy somebody's fence and we're going to do it right here, and then just carry on from there.
That was Caldwell resident Richard Phillips' response after he received a call from Caldwell police saying his fence was damaged. To blame, a new TikTok challenge called Kool Aid Man, where kids crash through fences, and it's causing issues in Caldwell neighborhoods.
It's a group of high school age kids, and they're driving around to neighborhoods with vinyl fencing, and they literally get out of the car long enough to go plow through somebody's fence while somebody's recording. And then they jump in the car and they turn around and leave.
It didn't stop there. Phillips says the incident happened again a couple weeks later, causing thousands of dollars in damages. But why fences?
If you go back to like the 90s, the Kool Aid Man, how he was breaking through the wall and how his picture, you can see the broken wall with it.
Phillips says other neighborhoods in the area were also targeted.
House was actually, I would say, the second one to be hit in our neighborhood, and I'd say probably 10 to 15 have been hit in total.
Phillips says his neighborhood is working with Caldwell police by sending in videos captured with their home camera systems.
But they're super helpful, and they want to help us catch these people and put an end to this.
Caldwell police say they are aware of this issue and are working to identify those responsible.
That is not cool and very expensive. So if you're doing it,
Not
stop.
cool.
And if this is happening in your area, Caldwell Police encourages the community to submit a vandalism report on their website. That's centralfilescityofcaldwell.org. Or you can, of course, call their non-emergency line at 208-454-7531.
Jesus Lord. All right. So She was telling me about this. She says, yeah, did you know that about the Kool Aid challenge? And I thought, okay, maybe it's like the ice bucket challenge. And but instead of ice water, they poured ice cold Kool Aid on you, which would be kind of a waste of Kool Aid. Green Meadows, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by this evening. But no, it was kids busting through fences. Now, we were discussing this earlier. It's like some of them were not even doing it right. They were just, they would just kick the fence in and then run away. That's just vandalism. All right. That's just vandalism. So, and there was one YouTuber, we were watching like a kind of a reaction video to it. And he was saying, look, I don't condone destroying property like that. And I don't either. I think that's just ridiculous. But if you're going to do it, at least do it right. If you're going to bust through fence, you got to say, oh yeah. And you got to say it like that too. If you can't say it like that, if you just belt out a, oh yeah, then it's just not the same, right? Some witnesses have come forward to police and have reported a large portly man dressed in red who has a face on its belly it was going around and destroying this property. So yeah, there you go. So yeah, don't, we were talking about this and I said, what, it can't be worse than the Tide Pod challenge. The Tide Pod challenge was just, who the fuck's eating Tide Pods, right? And I'm like, you're eating detergent, like highly concentrated detergent. Why the hell would you? What is wrong? I guess I'm gonna have to be old man for a second and go, what the hell is wrong with kids eating Tide Pods, like doing Kool Aid challenges? Like, I mean, the Kool Aid challenge thing is kind of random. It just seems like, you gotta. What the hell would you pick that random shit out of your ass and do that? So, but that's why I never decided to sire an heir to the throne, because I knew my kids were going to be stupid. I would try to teach them as best as I could, but I'm kind of lazy, and I'd probably get to the point where I just get tired and be like, yeah. So, and then the next thing you know, the police are calling me saying, hey, look, your kid busted through a fence and yelled, oh yeah. And now we have him in police custody. Yeah. So I found that humorous and disturbing at the same time. It's like Marty McFly's kids. That part was true. Yes. So that's a reference, I believe, to Back to the Future Part 2, where Christopher Lloyd takes Marty to the future to see his kids because his kids are fucking up, and his kids look just like him. There's even a Michael J. Fox in drag who's playing his daughter. I found that quite disturbing as well. Not that people in drag themselves are disturbing, but just the fact that Michael J. Fox was in drag and they couldn't get someone to look like Elizabeth Shue, or maybe Elizabeth Shue herself, to play the daughter, since that's who he had the kids with, right? I don't know. Back to the Future is such a weird movie. Well, Back to the Future 2 is very weird. It's very strange. It is like extremely confusing too. I don't know. Rabbit, did you like Back to the Future 2? Yeah, she says yes, she liked it. I liked all three of them, even the Out West one. I thought that was pretty cool. And I noticed like Biff was always the same too. Biff from the 50s, Biff in the present, and then Biff from the 1800s, Biff in the future. It was all the same guy. And now what's funny is because everybody's so old, the guy who played Biff actually looks like Biff from the future, only he doesn't have the cane or have the pants, hiked up to his nipples. Pretty sure. The Indy said, I like the second one with the alternate reality. Yeah, Leah Thompson was always the same too. She was the same in the 50s, and she was the same in the present. But what's his name? What was his dad's name? Yeah, but his character's name. It was is it Harold McFly? George McFly. George McFly was different. George was different. So George in the past and George in the present in the first movie is the same. But I believe in the second movie, once Michael J. Fox changed everything and now they were like, rich or whatever. They were rich, but they were living in the same house, which I don't get. Like, why would you want to live in the same house? That was just kind of like one of those things. But in the second movie, I think Crispin Glover did not want to be a part of it for some reason. There may have been like a money issue or something. I'm not quite sure, but they got some guy and put him like in all this prosthetic makeup and stuff for the present day 1985 George McFly. And he was like hanging upside down in like some sort of like gravity boot thing or whatever. And so you could see it looked like George McFly, but it wasn't the same guy. It was it was pretty different. So but I tell you, I was really, I don't know, back in 85 Back to the Future was like a very special movie to me. For one thing, I was a big Christopher Lloyd fan from his days as Reverend Jim on Taxi. So, and to contrast the two, so you had Reverend Jim, who was basically Doc Brown on some really serious dank weed, He was he was like, okay, Doc, boss. And he was problems. Okay. Rabbit's over here making faces, and usually when she makes faces, there's usually something amiss, and it's usually nothing. It's like she makes the oh my god face, and it's like, what's wrong? Oh, nothing. There was just a little speck on the fork I was eating with. You said you didn't want to be on camera and talk, so so now it got you where I want you. Anyway, so back to the Future. So yeah, so rich people still living in the same house. That's weird. So you had Christopher Lloyd, who was either when he was Reverend Jim, he was Doc Brown on some serious pot, or when he was Doc Brown, he was Reverend Jim on like cocaine and methamphetamines, because he was basically just like a sped up Reverend Jim. Just, okay, Marty, we gotta go, just like, we're gonna, where we're going, we don't need roads, but we'll need straws. Anyway, I'm not saying Christopher Lloyd was a cokehead. I'm just saying the man had range. But it was a good soundtrack too. You had Huey Lewis in the News. I was a huge Huey Lewis in the News fan back then. Really liked Huey Lewis in the News. Denver Attaway on the Rockfin. Hello to you. Hope you are having a pleasant evening / morning. Yeah, that was like my favorite song at the time. It went to #1 for a few weeks. Don't need money, don't need fame, don't need no credit card to ride this train, right? Huey Lewis. So you had that, and you also had Sports. So Huey Lewis had this album, Sports. Now I kind of sound like what's his name from American Psycho, talking, singing the praises of Huey Lewis. I should have like some sort of like see-through raincoat on, and have business cards. That was another good movie I really enjoyed, was American Psycho. Oh yeah, that's where you were going. Genesis the studio. Yeah, we were talking about music last night and how the original lead singer of Genesis was Peter Gabriel. A lot of people don't know that. And a lot of people don't care because they have other things to worry about. But I cared because I've played some Genesis on the radio with Peter Gabriel, like old school, like early 70s kind of stuff. American Psycho with Susudio. Yeah. That was a really good movie. I mean, if you like Christian Slater, what's his name? Christian Bale. Why did I say Christian Slater? The Heat. Laws, yes. This Heat. Yeah, Christian Bale. Sorry about that. I blame the heat, and we ate hot dogs earlier, so I'm pretty sure there was some shit in there that's fucking with my head. But I did, if you're gonna segue, turn lemons into lemonade. Christian Slater, very good actor. He made his bones in the 80s too. So he was in Heathers. Everybody knows about. I think a lot of Gen Xers have seen Heathers. I was about to get to that. Pump Up the Volume, though, is one that made a lot of it kind of slid under the radar, right? So you had Samantha Mathis in there. She showed her boobies too. She did. She said, "Here they are." Hoo-hoo-hoo. And they were like hooty owl eyes. I'm like, I'm blind. But Pump Up the Volume was pretty good. He was like this underground, he was like this high school kid, but he did a underground radio show and was like bitching about the man and how the school was corrupt, and how they were expelling kids that weren't making A's or something like that. Very topical at the time. It just shows how corruption kind of started off early, as the modern corruption that we see today had its roots in the Reagan years. Reagan really fucked up a lot of shit back then, and a lot of people consider Reagan to be a hero. Much like today, I think he was a senile old man who was probably controlled behind the scenes, by your Dick Cheney types, and your Donald Rumsfelds, and your big money interests, that sort of thing. The moral majority, your evangelicals, that was kind of around the rise of the evangelicals too. Ronald Reagan, the actor. Bedtime for Bonzo. Everybody says, "Well, we elected a game show host." Like we elected a president who was in a movie with a monkey. Kelly, good to see you. Hope you're having a pleasant evening. So Reagan kind of was the precursor to Trump in that regard, where he kind of had his facilities going for a while, but then towards the end of his second term, he just kind of checked out. There were rumors that he was being led by, actually Nancy was kind of controlling things, and they had an astrologer too that was kind of guiding them through the thick of things. So, you know, as the 80s, and there was so much propaganda back then. The commies were coming to get us, you know, Red Dawn, Rocky 4, you know, Rambo. I mean, just, you know about Barbara though, Miguel. Barbara Bush, is that who you're talking about? You know, she was the daughter of Aleister Crowley, right? Now that's not confirmed, but I'm going with my gut feeling, and I'm pretty sure Barbara Bush was the daughter of Aleister Crowley, because there's let's see if I can find this. Let's see. There's a video. It's like a really quick video. Barbara Bush, Aleister Crowley. Not to be confused with Joe Crowley, who got beat by AOC. Gleaming the Cube. Look at that. Denver throwing out another Christian Slater reference. I feel you. So I wish that it was like a very quick video. It was like, you know, maybe like 30 seconds long, and it showed Aleister Crowley, and then it dissolved to a picture of Barbara Bush, and they looked exactly the same. See if I can find this real quick. I'm all about some finding out some conspiratorial shit like that. Don't seem to see it here. I have to save that for another show. But you know, it's just like that whole Bush family is probably like, you know, inbred and stuff like that. A lot of these dynasty families probably got some sort of crazy shit. I guess we're going back to Christian Slater, Mr. Robot. That's a really good show. It's got was it Remy Malek? That's the guy's name. He played Freddie Mercury in the Queen movie, Bohemian Rhapsody. Oh, Leo, what is going on? He says Barbara Bush was the daughter of the Quaker Oats cover guy. You stupid. So, if you're not sure who the Quaker Oats guy is, just doing a Google search for Quaker Oats guy. Look at you talking. Let's see. Let me see if I can this in another oh wait, what did they do to him? Let's see. Image and new tab. That's what. So yeah, let's get a little bigger. So this is what he looks like. So this is Barbara Bush. So the Quaker Oats guy got skinny. If you see the guy on the left there, he's got a couple chins there. And then the dude on the right, they got rid of his waddle. Like he's been working out, you know. He's been skipping leg days at the gym. Wait, what happened? So yeah, that does look like Barbara Bush. Leo, you stupid. Oh, Indy throwing out some gems, cuffs. Oh, you just want to stick on Christian Slater? You know, Christian Slater was also one. A lot of people thought he was going to be the next Jack Nicholson. No, because he kind of talked like this a little bit, and you know, but it turns out he didn't. He wasn't the next Jack Nicholson. It was that was somebody else. That turned out to be nobody. So, how you doing? You okay over there? You hot? You want a fan? You fan you? So, Denver on Rockfin says, Crowley or not, the Bushes are totally spooked up and shady as can be. Bush ran the CIA. Prescott did business with Nazis. That whole family is fucked. Bush also started the Carlyle Group. Yes, they're Herbert Walker, part of the Skull and Bones, from Yale. Was it Yale that was at? AC Slater. No, that was Saved by the Bell. I have a fun story about AC Slater, if we're gonna go down that route. So I used to live in North Mississippi, and there was this really shitty bar. Can't remember the name of it, but it was a dive. And apparently Mario Lopez was in town doing some sort of charity event, right? They had this thing called Stars Over Amory, like this little town, Amory, Mississippi. And I got to meet Phil Hartman there. Yeah, so very nice guy, super nice guy. Joan Van Ark was there. Yes, dropping names. But anyway, so this was another time, and Mario Lopez was there. Apparently he was hitting on some high school kids, because this was one of those this is one of those bars where they let underage people in. So it was kind of like a high school bar, and unofficially, obviously, because these kids were not 21. And so there was a little brouhaha going on around there that he hooked up with some high school kids. So it's unconfirmed, but it was a fun rumor to spread anyway, because it's AC Slater. Who gives a fuck, right? This was like late 90s, like early 2000s kind of thing. So anyway, it's just funny that AC Slater was in North Mississippi for some reason anyway. So, and then you add all that other shit to it. It was just kind of crazy. What else is Christian Slater related, since we're sticking with Christian Slater? Is he the brother of Helen Slater? No, that's not true. All right, so I always thought Helen Slater, who played Supergirl in the 80s, I thought, and the Legend, she was in The Legend of Billie Jean. Huh? Oh, they were siblings in that. Well, why would they make them? That's just very confusing, because they have the same last name and they played siblings. Of course, you're going to just assume that they're related in real life. But no, that's how Hollywood lies to you. Hollywood has always lied to you, especially about Helen and Christian Slater. I don't know. What else is going on in the world? So I'm trying to keep our minds off of this bad shit that happened yesterday, because there's really nothing much we can do about it right now. I was hearing reports, though, that they had snipers on top of the Supreme Court or the surrounding buildings, like keeping an eye on people. And I think they actually went after some protesters or something like that. It's getting crazy out there, y'all. So, if you're planning on getting out in the streets, prepare yourself, make sure you take the proper precautions, and just stay safe. I mean, direct action is important, not just protesting. There's other ways you can do direct action, but, if you're going to be out there protesting, just make sure that you keep yourself and your friends safe too. Just watch out for each other. John Kemper. So, yes, and tape everything, like science says. That's true. So John, since he had made a comment on the show last night, and he said, man, it's something to the effect of he probably needed to take a nap, so that he could stay up for the show last night. But he's here now, and we appreciate you being here, John. Thanks for showing up. We're probably not gonna do too much tonight. It's a little hot here, and I'm wearing this ragged out sleeveless shirt with the holes in it. So and I have to kind of keep the fans off. for the most part, or at least out of earshot of the microphone, or otherwise it sounds like a hurricane in here. This is a really good mic. I got the snowball mic. You know, if you've ever seen bust me out. Us young guys, we got to stick together, John. So if you ever seen Ricky Rant's live streams, he's got that big white snowball microphone. And it looks like he's just got a big lollipop and he's talking into it. I have the same mic, but it's black because I'm not a racist. So, wait, what? Atris, good to see you. Fit check. I don't know what that means. Is that code? Blessed us with a gun show. I got a couple of super soakers. I don't know. This one's normally I think this one's a little bigger. This one on the left. But this is my masturbating hand, so you would think this would you would think that I'd have like a Popeye arm on this one, but you know, because I do that a lot. I do that a lot. Green Meadow says it's made popcorn. You're gonna be sharing with the group? Yes, no, maybe, I don't know. Could you repeat the question? Denver and Rockfin says people are allowed to protest public officials. This is being framed by the media that it's against the law to interfere with public officials like judges. What the fuck, man? They want to criminalize informed criticism. Note Assange. Yona, good to see you. Asio to you too as well. So Yona was on Propaganda Live's live stream earlier today, and it was just his voice. I didn't see him, and he was spitting out some mad knowledge. I thought that was fun of him. Smoke more the weeds. Yes, Yona, that was the shit. That was the kind of shit you were talking about. I believe you were talking about smegma too, which I found intriguing. I always like to get into smegma conversations, just because smegma is a fun one. You finished the popcorn, Green Meadows? See, Kelly, the left one is bigger, but I'm right-handed, so you know. I mean, we can talk about masturbation if you want. I mean, it's a natural thing. I look at it as like blowing your nose, right? I'm one of these people like, you know, like you got a stopped up nose. You want to blow your nose, you would get it out and you're done, right? The same thing. You go squirt one out, you know, and then you can go on with your day. Then you're not worried about, you know, like random boners and, you know, nocturnal emissions and that sort of thing. Ryan says, extra bullet is Queen Egg Elizabeth having tea with Margaret Hatcher today, asking for Kelly. To be honest, I'm not quite sure which one of these is Margaret Hatcher. Margaret Hatcher is a white leghorn hen, small and all white. Now, go back to the videotape here. So, that could be, this is her on the far left, but there's two more here. You have two on the right. And one of them looks like, is like a little hunkered down, like, you know, yo, what's up? And then the other one's like, you know, kind of feeling cocky. Cocky. Yeah. So anyway, one of them chicks, I think, is Margaret Hatcher. Kelly says Margaret Hatcher is a small white one, I thought. So probably maybe the middle white one. I would say that's probably the smallest one there. Very nice. Kelly is an egglophile. Felt 12 again? Wait a minute. Dude, you probably shouldn't say that in public. Anyway. Wait, what happened? There's nothing wrong with masturbation. It's a fine time-honored tradition, you know. The first time I ever masturbated and ejaculated Oh yeah, this is a fun story. So my old man, I asked my old man, you gotta remember this guy, he was born in the 20s. So he grew up in the Great Depression. He was in World War II. He was one of these people that just did not really want to get involved in personal discussions with people. So I asked him one day when I was a little kid, I said, where do babies come from? And he said, well, learn it on the street like I did. So I did. So my buddy Charlie Jett, he had, let me get back over here. So my buddy Charlie Jett, everybody, you have your group of friends, right? Like if you got like a bunch of nerdy friends and then you got a couple of cool kids that hang out with you, like, and maybe they go to the same church or something like that. But anyway, they're kind of like the adults of the group, right? More or less, right? The strongest ones, they were kind of like the protectors of the nerds. So anyway, Charlie Jett was one of those people. And he said, he was always like, hey, my parents are going out of town. Let's come over to the house. We're going to watch pornos. Right. Never seen a porno before. I was like, I don't know, like 12, 13, maybe. No, I was like 13. Never seen a porno before. So, right. Finally, going to solve the mystery of where do babies come from. BC Talon. Hi to you as well, and welcome. Bienvenidos. Welcome. So, long story short, we go over there, and Charlie's got like these late 70s, early 80s pornos, lots of hair all over the place. Oh, that's I don't even know what that is. So I was like, oh, so the PP goes in there. Okay, that makes sense. Repeatedly. It's like the hokey pokey. You put it in, you pull it out, you put it in, you shake it all about. That's what it's all about. So then I'm, I'm around that time where the hormones are starting to kick in. But the only time I've seen anybody, I had never ejaculated before, ever. Right. First, so my first time like seriously masturbating. Now I knew what I was doing. So all I knew was I'd see the porno dudes on there and they were just like, it looked like silly string was coming out, just like, they look like fountains of this stuff coming out. And I said, well, I cannot, I was in my room, a lock on the door. Pro tip. I said, well, I should probably be prepared. So the only thing I had at my disposal I wasn't going to like do it into a sock or anything. So I had a paper bag from Piggly Wiggly. And I said, well, I'm going to fill this bad boy up. So anyway, so I gets to getting down to kneading bread dough, and it's the moment of truth. I'm like, oh, this is great, it's gonna happen. And then it was just like, that's it. And for a climax, it was very anticlimactic. It was just like, that was it. That's the payoff. I soiled a Piggly Wiggly bag. How the hell did this happen? So anyway, that was my first time masturbating. So from then on, I was a pro. After that, I knew everything I needed. Like, some Kleenex will do, or some wadded up toilet paper, whatever we had in the house. Rabbit over here is cringing. Me talking about this. She's never heard this story before. I don't think I've ever told you that story, right? No. See, surprise. I like this. I like the shock. But you got to be careful, because you be right in the middle, and all of a sudden you hear, what are you doing in there? Studying. It's summer. about to go outside and play basketball. Because you couldn't go in the bathroom. There's too many people in the house. You couldn't, you couldn't stay in there and do your thing, because then it's like knock on the door. Come on, I gotta take a shit. Open up the door. Yes, the first time is embarrassing for everyone, but it is. Yeah. Why is the door locked? Well, now to be fair, we always lock the doors to the bathroom. Because we were like very private about using the toilet, right? We didn't want people busting up in there, and I don't even know why Dad locked the door, because Dad's poops stank so bad that if you open the door by accident, that funk was like, it was like, you know how Green Lantern has that ring and he can like turn things into, he can make any kind of shit with it. So it's like this big green fist came out and hit you in the face, and it was a fist of stank. You're like, oh, ah! So he never really had to lock the door, but I think he did anyway. And we all did, because, but I definitely locked the door to my room. And then I pulled this teen angst thing where I was like, when they'd ask me why the door was locked, I'd say, look, I just want some privacy. I'm just, this house, there's just people all over the place, and I just want, and they're like, all right, fine, quit your bitching. Sign says, you told me you were combing your hair. Kid's mom from Weird Sides. That's right, combing the hair. Combing the hair. Yeah. So yeah, it was very awkward. One of the few, so around when I wasn't at Charlie Chent's house watching the pornographies, you had to make do with finding literature that would stimulate the process, kind of get the ball rolling. So back in those days, it was the bra ads in the Sears catalog. There's some, I ain't gonna lie, there's some heifers back there. There's some big old titties. Like big hootie owl titties. Just like, they look like, hey, I tell you, it was like Rodney Dangerfield eye titties. You know what I mean? Just like, huge. Hey, I got no respect, but these titties are huge. Hey, I tell you. And then back then you had the 1-900 numbers. You had like, you didn't have like Pornhub, obviously. You didn't have the internet, so you had 1-900 numbers that this was before they started doing the credit card thing. So what do is like you call a 1-900 number and they would charge it to your phone bill, right? So I was always scared to do that because I knew my old man was going to look at the phone bill and go, what's this? Hey, who called Fuckalicious 20 times? Or whatever the hell it's called. But we had places too. So you gotta remember, this was South Mississippi in the 70s, early 80s. A lot of Baptist churches around there. So you didn't have adult video stores or anything like that. But there was this old creepy guy who sold dirty magazines at this flea market on the highway, like you're going on Highway 49 as you're going up towards Hattiesburg, right? So he sold dirty magazines, and these are like old dirty magazines from like the 60s and 70s. And this guy was a creep too. You go in there, and my buddy John Fulcher, he told me about this place, and I was like, of course you knew about this place, because John was one of those guys. He was always in the know about shit like that. So long story short, we go to this place, and there's all kinds of stuff, like he's selling all kinds of shit, and then we say, hey, where are your adult magazines? And he was like, yeah, boys, come on over here, I got what you're looking for. And we're like, okay. And so it was like these stacks and stacks of like all these dirty magazines from like the 60s. Some of them were like some foreign, overseas type stuff too. You know, very exotic. Ooh, scandalous. And he would pick up a magazine and then have the centerfold goes, look at that, look at all that hair on there. You're like, okay, all right. Yeah, he was like all sweaty, and he wore like the hair sweater, you know. He was like this. He had like the A shirt on, you know, and it was just like nothing but hair all over. It was just disgusting. Yeah, crispy pages. Some of them sticking together. Yeah, they were used magazines. They weren't new magazines, so we were a little hesitant, but we found some clean ones, and I would have those. And they had advertisements in the back. That's where the 900 numbers were. So Kelly says, well, Pornhub did give everyone in Italy a free membership during the pandemic, so they are supporting their audience. I got to tell you, if they would have had Pornhub when I was growing up, when I was coming of age, no pun intended, or maybe pun intended, I would seriously have a Popeye arm. This would be just like, it'd be like giggity giggity goo, giggity goo. What's his name from Quagmire, from Family Guy, when he discovered that there was porn on the internet, and he came out of his house and he had like that huge fucking right arm. That's how I would have been, man. I would have been like, it'd been like that scene in Idiocracy where, you know, I'd be in my room watching Pornhub and why is the door locked? And I'd just go yell over my shoulder, go away, baiting. So baiting is short for masturbating. He'd say, go away, baiting. Idiocracy is such a great movie. It's sad because all that shit's coming true. Kelly says, I used to sell the pages from my dad's Playboy magazines to my schoolmates in elementary school for 25 cents a page. Look at that. Little capitalist over here. Good for you. My sister had a book. So my sisters, they read like romance novels and stuff like that, right? Like Harlequin romance and shit like that. But one of my sisters had a dirty book. This was like way before like 50 Shades of Grey. This book was called Scruples, right? And it had some very explicit shit in there. So one day I grabbed it. I was in junior high, and I took it to junior high, and I was showing my buddies. I was like, look at this shit. Look what it was just like very graphic. It's like his hands caressed the labia of my fertile pubis, entwining his fingers in the hair that guarded the entrance, or some shit like that. It was very flowery language, but they were talking about fucking, and his tip of his penis entered me, and I felt the warmth and the girth, you know, that kind of shit. So, and my buddies were like, oh, dude, this is crazy. What the hell is this? Very kind of like, it was like if Goonies discovered porn. It was pretty much how that worked out. So we were some very dirty-minded kids. I'm not going to lie. There was a lot of church kids, so there was a lot of repression going on. So, you know, like the kids who you thought were goody goods, especially like the preacher's kids, there's some hellraisers. Ooh, big time. Girth is a great word. I like girth. Sounds like each one of my mom's paperbacks. Yeah, John, that shit was dirty, man. They had some dirty shit back in the day, man. The 70s, that was a crazy time. Like, I think like early 70s, right before they had the the ratings, like G, PG, all that stuff. There was no ratings. And, you know, there were some movies that were just like, this is some dirty shit. I think you had X-rated. You had X-rated, but I don't think you had like G, PG, or any of that shit. I could be wrong though. Um, yeah, like, you know, talking about the deep throat movies and stuff like that. Taboo, that was another one too. It was like weird shit, man. It was like Taboo was had this lady. She was like one of the original MILFs, right? Her name was Kay Parker, and she you know, very attractive lady, but you know, she had some hangers on her. But she was in these movies Taboo, and it was like sons and moms getting it on. It was some crazy shit. It wasn't like the stepmom, you know, stepson stuff where you can yeah, like that silver. John Holmes. John Holmes was the king back then too. He was I think he was the inspiration for Boogie Nights, I believe. But yeah, I mean, they had some raucous shit back in the 70s. Man, there's some crazy shit. You know, this like you kind of hear tell of this stuff from like the older kids who, like I said, the adults of the group that would you know, that were somehow able to get a hold of this shit, even though they were underage too. Kelly says, my dad had a shirt that said, I choked Linda Lovelace, and I never knew what it meant until I was an adult, and we have family pictures of him wearing it. He choked Linda Lovelace. Okay. It's got to be a reference to Deep Throat. I'm not quite. I've never seen Deep Throat. I'm not a purist when it comes to porn. Like I said, it's just like blowing your nose with me. I just like to watch it and get that shit out of me, and then go on my merry way. You know what I mean? You do feel better. You feel a lot better, because I think, from what I've been told too, like when you masturbate and you climax, like a little bit of DMT is released into your brain from the pineal gland. So same thing happens when you die. Like when you see the white light, they say when you see the white light, that DMT is being released into your brain. Kelly says, totally a Deep Throat and blowjob reference. Okay. Green Wiccan. Yes, Green Meadows, Green Wiccan. I hope you're having a wonderful evening. Always good to see you. But yeah, so, you know, that's basically, like, when I'm doing this show by myself, I'm usually just telling you tales out of school from back in the day that a lot of people don't know about. You know, we didn't, like I said, we didn't have any porno places around where I lived, but we were only an hour and a half away from New Orleans. So the first time I went down to New Orleans, I believe I was 17, 18, maybe. And that's where everything was. That you had adult video stores, you had like strip joints, all that shit going on. It is a secret. What's up, Steve? Good to see you. Kelly says, my parents did not want to teach me about sex ed, so they gave me a book that compared an orgasm to a sneeze. Right? Yeah, it's funny, but actually that's kind of true. Fred Edward on Rockfin. What's up, Fred? Good to see you. Oh, forgot to do this. So while we have a few people here, if you wouldn't mind liking and sharing this out, you know, subscribe if you're not a subscriber. But don't take my word for it. Let's talk to this little dude that's coming out right now. Oh, what is this? What the hell? Jesus Lord. What kind of satanic ritual is this? Okay, we got that out of the way. But yeah, like I knew people that liked to sneeze. They were like, I love sneezing. But I always heard that sneezing was just like it's also like having like a very mini heart attack too. Which I don't know if that's true or not. But I can always tell when my dad was sneezing because that motherfucker was loud as fuck. You could be like all the way on the other side of the house. You're like he was announcing it, you know, like Simba was born or something. But it was just him announcing that he was sneezing. That's what I was saying, Steve. That's what our porn was like back in the day. We didn't like. I was telling him we had a friend that we would go over to his house when his parents weren't home and watch the porno movies. But when you're at the house, all you got is the catalog and some scantily clad boobies. So yeah, so that was going on. But yeah, so New Orleans, you go down there, and then that was just like it. That was just like you were an adult then. You were able to get in those places, and a lot of times you could. It was like, I think this was when I was in high school. Like by the time I turned 18, that's when all those places you had to be 21 to get in. But before then, I think it was like 18 for the bars and 18 to go to the nudie joints, that kind of thing. So but yeah, I always tell people, if you go to New Orleans, you know, go check out, you know, do the touristy thing, go check out Bourbon Street. But there's really like, there's two kinds of New Orleans. Okay. There's daytime New Orleans, there's nighttime New Orleans. So nighttime New Orleans, you know, you got your bar scenes and stuff. You go down to Bourbon Street, you could grab a beer from a little side joint, and you get a beer, or a hurricane, or a hand grenade, whatever you want to get. And you can walk down the street with it, because they got the streets blocked off. So you can't get, at night, they don't do traffic. Daytime's a whole different story. So you can actually drive down Bourbon Street during the daytime. And you also have a lot of cool stuff around there. There is the Jack's Brewery, which is used to be a brewery. Now it's a mall. You can go check that place out. They have the Riverwalk. You go down there, and there's like all kinds of shops and stuff like there. And they have these guys and ladies and guys that make fudge down there. And it's a whole big production, and everybody, you know, gathers around, and they're telling stories while they're making the fudge and stuff. It's really cool. You have the aquarium down there. It has the IMAX theater too. Really cool. But like I said, that's more of the family friendly type stuff. You know, you can ride on the trolley cars or go to Audubon Zoo, that sort of thing. But at night, you were just basically getting fucked up. Kelly said, my dad and I tried to get my 16-year-old nephew into a nudie joint in New Orleans. They wouldn't let him in because he was a boy. If he was a girl, no problem. Yeah, that's pretty much how that rolls. Beignets at the Cafe du Monde or Divine. Yeah, there's also they have that chicory coffee too. I'm not a big, it's a little bitter, but pretty strong. It's pretty nice. And they have a really cool flea market over there too, by the Cafe du Monde too. It's huge. Should be open all the time. Do they pack your fudge? You stupid, Steve. No, I mean, but you know, it's New Orleans. You can probably, you know, drop a few bucks and you probably get that done. John says, when I go there now, daytime people have PTSD. Nighttime is still crazy. I love Noah. I do too. I really do. I haven't been in about 20 years. The last time I was in New Orleans was 2003. I was doing stand-up comedy at the Howling Wolf. That's over in the warehouse district. Little hole in the wall joint, and really great time. I would drive all the way down from Mississippi. Like I said, it was 90 miles, so it would take me probably about a couple hours to get down to there proper, because you got to go in the city. And you've got family there. Nice. Yeah, I've got some friends that live down there too, or they did live down there, and then Katrina hit, and then a lot of those folks moved to Houston, I believe. And there's also a guy, he's a city council member down there, Scott Walker, not to be confused with that shitty Wisconsin governor. But he and I used to work in TV news together on the Gulf Coast, and then he ended up working in news in New Orleans, and became a businessman. He bought a Shipley's Donuts franchise. He had a Shipley Donuts franchise down there. Shipley Donuts are fantastic, by the way. So if you go down there, get you some Shipley's Donuts. Super nice guy too. I went to his wedding back around 99, 2000. No, it was, yeah, I think it was 99. We went there, and I'd never been to a Catholic wedding before, and it was so beautiful, but it was so freaking long. So freaking long. The church itself was great, but it was just insane how long that shit was. The people were kneeling up and down. It was like 2 hours. I was used to being, I grew up Southern Baptist. Those things like 10 minutes, da, 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 you da, 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 you go down there, do you, I do, okay, all right, let's go. So quickness of a Baptist wedding is great, but usually a Baptist reception is shit, because a lot of times they don't have alcohol there, and it's like, punch, really? What's the point? But you go to a Catholic wedding, especially in New Orleans, like I said, the ceremony is like 2 hours long, and all this fanfare and shit. I mean, it's beautiful, like I said, but Jesus Lord, can we, less this, more of this. And but the reception, whoo, it was lit for sure. Kelly says, I love New Orleans. Saw my Utah Utes cream the Crimson Tide in the Sugar Bowl there in 2008. Good. Anytime the Alabama loses, I'm always a fan. City Park is beautiful. Never been to City Park. Like I said, I was mostly a nighttime dude going down there, but I've always been itching to go back and visit, especially since Katrina. I wanted to see how they've rebuilt a lot of places there. Greatest cemeteries in the country. Yeah, spooky as hell too. They're all, if you didn't know, they're all above ground, because New Orleans is basically in a bowl, and it's below sea level. And we found that out in Katrina, that shit, once the levees break, shit fills up like a bowl does. Gamer, good to see you, brother. No, you're not late. You're fine. Whenever you show up, that's the time to be here. That's the way I look at it. But they have they have a lot of mausoleums down there too, and we used to go down to the train tracks that ran right through this field of mausoleums, and we'd sit on the train trestle up there and drink Jägermeister while the trains go by and stuff. But New Orleans is like probably my favorite place on the planet. It's just it's an amazing. It's like you're going to another country there. There's music everywhere. The food, you can't beat the food. But like I tell everybody, do not go in the summertime unless you have a death wish, or you're a fan of heat stroke. If you're a fan of heat stroke, then go in the summertime, because it is just so ungodly hot, and it's ungodly humid too. It's just so thick down there. It's just miserable. All you want to do is drink, and then you're drinking alcohol and you're dehydrating yourself, and that's the worst thing you can do. So a lot of people fuck up when they go down there in New Orleans in the summertime. But then you have like the Jazz Fest down there, and they have all kinds of music festivals and stuff down there. They usually have concerts at the Superdome or at UNO nearby. I remember when I was in junior college, we went down there to this place. Can't remember where it was, but it was a buddy of mine. He knew where this place was. He lived down there, and he went to school with us at junior college. And we go down there and shoot pool at this place called Fat Harry's, and they had these awesome like big plank potato French fries, the big fat daddies, and it had like cheese drizzled all over it and stuff. And so the Tulane boys would come in there, they always had like their ties on, Tulane's like a medical school down there. So you always had, ties on, just these little pretty boys shits. And they said, oh, you guys want to play pool? We're from Mississippi. So, we're playing up the redneck, angle. So, yeah, we play a little bit, not that much. Y'all want to play some? We could play that. So we let them beat us the first game or two, and then they'd say, "Hey, well, you want to put a few bones on it? You want to put a stack on it?" Well, okay, So we'd bet a little bit, let them win that, and then And then they would say, well, let's put some decent money down. And then we just beat the shit out of them. Suckers. Them and their ties. Don't try to hug a cop on Bourbon Street. They're a little jumpy. See, okay, there's rules for men and there's rules for women in New Orleans. Wesley, good to see you. Always a pleasure to see friendly faces. So women can get away with a lot of shit down there. They can get away with a lot of shit. So they can show their tits on Bourbon Streets, no problem. But then they trap you. They'll, like, the women will be up on the balconies there, and you'll be like, "Hey, show me your tits." And they lift up the shirt, and then you throw them some beads or whatever. But then they'd yell down to you, "Hey, show me your dick." And that's when you gotta be careful. Anna says, I'm the goddess of pool. I am watching classic rock videos, but wanted to stop by and show some love. Well, thank you, Ivana. Good to see you. I hope you're having a wonderful evening. Cool. Sounds good, Wesley. Appreciate you. So one time I did that. I was pretty hammered. This is like one of those weekends before Mardi Gras. So they do like parades and stuff on the weekends. It's not as crazy as Fat Tuesday, but long story short, so if you're gonna show your dick on Bourbon Street, you gotta look around and make sure there ain't no cops around, because if you whip that dick out and the cops around, somebody's getting their head cracked. And so I did. I pulled it out, and I got some beads. It was great. I enjoyed it. It was fun. But that was the only time I did that. I was too scared. You always heard the rumors of people like ending up in bathtubs full of ice and their kidneys missing, that kind of thing. I didn't know if that was true or not, but at the same time, look, somebody did, because I got some beads. All right. I ain't gonna lie about that. How many beads? No, it's just one strand, you know. I mean, it wasn't like John Holmes, you know, or Long Dong Silver, you know, whipping it out. You know, it was just one of those things. Ginger Bush is an acquired taste. It is. I don't like to shave down there because I've done that before, and it's very itchy. It's just like, yeah. And then it looks like, you know, you're scratching your nuts, and then people think you're playing with yourself. It wasn't like I was doing this all the time. I only did it the one time, but I was hammered too. If I had been sober, I wasn't gonna do that shit. Gamer, I'll tell you this: do not go. If you ever do go to New Orleans, do not go on Fat Tuesday. It is like going to, Times Square on New Year's Eve. You got to get there early. There's way too many fuckers there. You can't move. You can only move with the crowd. It's just very uncomfortable. I mean, if you're young enough, I mean, do it once, but do it when you're young. If you're middle-aged or getting older, no, forget it. But like I said, the on the weekends before Mardi Gras, it's a great time. You know, a lot less crowds, but you still got that carnival atmosphere. You know, great floats. You know, you can get like cool stuff. You get a lot of shit. And the Mississippi Gulf Coast too. If you're gonna go to Mardi Gras, the Mississippi Gulf Coast is the place to be, because they have some really lit parades all day long in Biloxi, Gulfport, Pass Christian. If you go to Pass Christian, you'll wear Kevlar and bring a gun, because those people get fucking crazy down there. So but you know, you got casinos and stuff down there. You got it's a little redneck Riviera. John, yeah, go over Slidell too. And Mobile, Alabama, they have some good parades too as well. They're known for their floats, and they throw out moon pies. They throw out moon pies in Mobile. And but you know, be sure once the parade's over, you want to get out of there, because Mobile sucks. It's not that great a place, but you know, it is fun during the parades. New Orleans is lovely on New Year's Eve, sunny and great weather, no Mardi Gras crowds. Exactly. And if you go off season, and plus you're gonna get, if you go during Mardi Gras, proper. Hey, there's Les Bones. There's one of my other producers there. Good to see you, brother. If you're gonna go off season, that way you get decent prices on hotels. I always tell people Halloween is one of the best times to go to New Orleans, right? So you get the spooky house tours. That's great because there's all those old, antebellum homes down there. They're haunted as fuck. And they have the tattoo convention around that time too down there. So it's always pretty festive down there, and it's a lot cooler. The heat in Louisiana, or particularly New Orleans, it usually lasts until late September, early October. By the time you get to the end of October, though, it tends to be a little cooler. It's a hell of a lot cooler than it is if you go in July or August. I don't know if anybody ever goes in July or August. I mean, you just I don't know what kind of shit you're smoking, but that is not good. Wesley, I haven't ever been to New Orleans. I would love to visit someday, being a huge jazz nerd. Yeah, you go down for Jazz Fest. That's fun. And like I said, there's music everywhere. Frankie Lee, what is going on, Frankie? Good to see you. Frankie sent me a comment on the show last night, was pissed off about the doings that was going on Friday with the Roe v. Wade stuff. And I said, well, sure, there's a lot of shows in our spaces that are talking about it. And I said, well, this weekend, we'll mention it, but we're not gonna talk about it that much because it's a fucking downer. And this is a more uplifting show. You come here and we just talk about crazy shit. We were talking about Christian Slater for about 30 minutes. We talk about New Orleans, and we talked about pornos and masturbation. That was fun. I mean, just think of this as just a little break from all that shit, because they're just gonna be talking about it all next week anyway. So Wesley says, I was in a band called Second Line. We played nothing but meters and other swamp funk. It was great fun. Yeah, it's amazing. The atmosphere down there, the atmosphere there is, you really can't beat it. It's fantastic. Ellie says there's no need to believe Roe v. Wade. We're going to hear about it for months. Some of us just want to talk about fun things. Exactly. So that's what we're doing this weekend. Jimmy and I, it was a great show last night. I love Jimmy. She's the best. I love doing shows with her. She's really fun to talk to. She has some amazing stories herself. So if you say, you can find her on Twitter. She's Jimmy Saves, Jimi Saves World, but she also has her up and coming Image Productions, IMIJ. So give her a follow there too, and her YouTube page too is IMIJ Productions. So she's very talented, very artistic person, very funny. I'm so lucky to have her on on Friday nights. So we have our own little hell together. It's great. Yeah, so and it's been great. The last couple of Fridays we've done it. It's been fantastic, and I'm looking forward to more of those. Yeah, it's sad for sure. Those leaks prove that Roe v. Wade would get turned, and the Dems were silent about it for months. Yeah, that's true. So, but I mean, it's not totally dead in the water. Like I said, they could still codify it. They could still do it. And although Joe Manchin is going to be a stick in the mud there. They're talking about getting rid of the filibuster, but it's like, what's the point? You can't even get 50 votes. Last time they tried to do it was 49 votes, so they're not even trying. But anyway, like I said, we'll leave that for the more serious shows, your news shows. Like I said, they're going to be covering this for a while. So, but this is Funville, USA here. We like to, just kind of talk about weird shit in the middle of the night. Frankie says, I'm upset about the ruling, but I don't remember making a negative comment about the show. No, you didn't make you made a comment on the show that you said you were talking about how at first you were like you thought we were going to be talking about, but then you said you ended up having fun. So I was like, oh, well, that's good. That's good. So that's what I was talking about. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I should be have been more clear about that. So but yeah, mukbang. Telling you code words. I don't know what the hell that. I think you told me what that is. I totally forgot what mukbang is. So, anyway, I guess I don't know. Hopefully things will get better, but we'll see. But in any event, even if things don't get better, just make sure you're taking care of each other. You got family and friends that need some looking out for. If you got the time and you got the resources to do it, to try to lend a helping hand. Be that positive influence in their lives, and maybe they can pay it forward too. Because these are really negative times right now, so we need all the positivity we can get. And I'm not talking about false hope. Just pie in the sky bullshit. I'm talking about actual support and being cool to each other and helping where you can. It doesn't take much. You could just positive reinforcement for somebody. Just tell them you see somebody's down. Just say, hey, look, you're a good person. What can I help you with? What do you need? That kind of thing. Or maybe they just want a shoulder to cry on or something like that. It could be anything like that. You don't have to spend money to help people in that regard. So anyway, I guess we're gonna wrap this up. We went a little long last night, but it was fine. Usually, like I said, when Jimmy's on here, we can go a little bit longer. I'm old and hot. So, and I think I've shocked enough people for one evening. So let's do the rundown here. Gamer, Miguel, Les Bones, thank you so much for coming out. Frankie Lee, Miss Jimmy, thank you so much for hanging out. Miguel, Kelly, of course, good to see you. I know John Kemper, thank you for staying up. Hopefully we didn't keep you up too long. Now you get some sleep, brother. It's always good talking. We'll talk more New Orleans stuff on future shows too, because I could keep talking about New Orleans for forever. So I really love that place. It's a wonderful town. Steve Wolfbrand, thanks for coming by. Moon Pies in Mobile. I'm booking a flight now. Well, then you gotta wait till Mardi Gras, but you may be able to find some moon pies there, but you'd probably find some closer too, I would imagine. They're not that rare. They're not like unicorns, I don't think. Wesley, good to see you. Atris, thanks for coming out, brother. Appreciate you. I know Dolores was here earlier. Thank you. Appreciate you. Green Wiccan, always a pleasure. Thank you so much. What else we got on here? Who else? Signs, of course. Thank you. Appreciate you. See. Who else? Somebody, 3NG, 3NT on Twitch, did some sort of Bernie Sanders looking head thing. That was kind of weird, but okay. Yona, you crazy bastard. Good to see you, brother. Hope you're having a wonderful evening as well. Leo, one of my fake nephews. Good to see you. Indy, of course, one of my other producers, Indy Left News. Check out Indy Left News on INN. Indie Left has his own channel, but he's also all over the place with INN on various platforms, on Rockfin, on YouTube, Twitter. We're all over the place. Check out Indie Left and Independent News Network. Who else we got in here? I think we got everybody. If I missed somebody, Ed Heller. Also Denver and Fred on the Rockfin. Appreciate y'all. Hope y'all had a great evening. Hope you had enjoyed this little after party. We'll do it again next week, Friday night and around midnight, 12:15. We'll have Miss Jimmy back on for more fun and adventure. Steve says this freak show needs more porn talk. Really? You didn't get enough tonight? It's okay. It's fine. Just like there's always room for Jello, there's always room for more porn talk. SFT, very good to see you. And yeah, so next Friday and Saturday nights at midnight Eastern time, we'll be doing the secret show. Extra Bulla is coming back in some form. We're not quite sure when the regular show is going to be. We might be moving off of Thursdays. I'm doing some editing, changing up some stuff, so that might become a weekend show. TBD, to be determined. You can catch me and Jimmy on Kerberos Media on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern for some news. It's always a good time. Get your information on there. And all my information is down below. Donations, where you can find me, social media, all that stuff. Linktree /Extra Bulla. Thanks again, everybody, for coming out. I love everybody. I love all you. I want to thank Radar Rabbit for being a very patient in-studio audience member. So bearing with the heat with me here. I blame her. Ooh, it's like the sun. Yeah, just, try not to worry about too much shit. We all got each other. We all got each other's backs. And, just love one another. Be cool, just try and help people when you can. And just take it easy. And as always, make sure you wash your ass. Keep it clean. It's a thing. You gotta keep your ass clean, right? Dirty asses means dirty minds. I don't know what that means. Peace out, home slice. Word to the mother. We'll see you next time. Word.
What the hell's wrong with that cat?
That cat ate some weed.
Shut up, bitch!